Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Monday. It's July 21st. This will be our chart lesson for today. A couple of housekeeping things before I get started on the chart lesson. I do leave for Brazil for my annual Brazil trip on July the 25th, which is this Friday. I don't, it just snuck up on me. I can't even believe we're leaving that soon, but I'll probably do a chart lesson through Thursday. I'll probably work through Thursday, and then I'll probably take off. I know I won't be working Friday because we leave Friday afternoon, but most likely there will be a chart lesson Thursday. It's a possibility I may take Thursday afternoon off, but if even so, I'll probably still trade that morning. I may do it a little early, but most likely there'll be a chart lesson Monday through Thursday. But from Friday through, I won't be back till August the 2nd, meaning I won't be back till the following Saturday. So I will be back in the office probably August 4th. So basically from the 25th through until probably won't be a chart lesson after the 25th until August 4th. So, but anyway, I'm looking forward to that trip. I've been doing that every year for about 15 or 20 years now. So looking forward to going to Brazil. It's always a good mental vacation to get you away from the phones, from trading, from charts and all. And so I'm looking forward to that. But anyway, just wanted to give you a heads up. I'll have I'll set my mail where it'll give you just for a reminder that that I'm gone and so forth. So for those that don't watch the video, or if you forget, you'll get a email reply saying vacation reply if you send me anything while I'm on vacation. So I will ask you to hold any charts or any questions or anything like that while I'm gone, just so that when I come back, I don't have too much stuff piled up. But we'll talk about all that again either Wednesday or Thursday. But just wanted to go ahead and tell you now, so it didn't catch a lot of people off surprise when you hear about it on Thursday probably. So, but let's talk about today. Pretty good trading day. For all intents and purposes, it really was a range day. We spent 90% of the day between 63.50 and about 1970 or so. We did have an overshoot that, for the most part, even though this went into the previous day, if you notice that it's pretty much a measured break on each side. Let's just measure it. There's how far we were out the top side. And you can see the bottom is real close, maybe within a tick or two. But for the most part, I would call this a range day, although we had a nice trend down and then we had a nice trend up. Both of them were two-tiered channels, and so fairly straightforward kind of day. We had the break of the first channel is working down. We had the break right here. We moved to a new low, and then we had the rest of the day we spent in the upper channel. And this was a nice break and move up through here. You really could have entered again here. I think it was a little bit riskier, but this was the entry right here. And if you entered right there, then you should have had runners that ran all the way. And actually, somebody sent me a email. I'll share that with you in their chart. Fairly interesting. This is not from somebody I don't normally hear from. Hi, Mac. Just wanted to share with you a great trade using your setup and rules. I made 1 point on a scalp for 2 contracts. So basically, he made 2 points on his scalp, and then 4 more points on a third contract on the runners. And let me just put his chart up here. There it is. I'm guessing he entered on this second entry right here, and that was right before the big takeoff there, the move of the day. And very nice trade. It doesn't show where he exited or anything, I don't guess. He entered 3 at 64. You can see where he exited 2 right there. It doesn't show where he exited his runner. Evidently he hadn't exited it yet, because maybe it's still showing one open here. It's still showing one open right here. So very good trade. And You can see he's reading the channel exactly the same as mine. He's got the channel. He doesn't have the 2 tiers, but he's pretty much got the channel on the way up. So, he's seeing that. Look at this. He's seeing the second entries. He's seeing them on the way down. Very good. I mean, this is what you're looking for. And but very good by that gentleman that sent me that chart. And then I did get one other chart. This gentleman sent me a couple of charts recently. Um, you might recognize this chart. It's funny how I can a lot of times look at the chart and I know who it came from because you start to recognize their work, the stuff they put on their chart. You notice he's got the opening range in here, and that was pretty much the trading range for today. If you look at my chart, that pretty much covers it. So, we've talked about using that. I think it's called JS opening range or whatever, or BT opening range. There's a couple of them, but I think the one that we ended up going with was BT opening range. I don't know if that's what he's got on here. Let's just see if Friday tick counter JS opening price is what he's using. But anyway, I think they all get you to about the same place. But you can see his shorts across here, all except for this short right here. But I think he talks about that one. Let me just read what he said. Hey, Mack could not resist sending another chart. Funny thing, over the weekend, I was thinking about my trading journey and how good it feels to finally understand price action. And I realized, despite the psychological aspects of trading, that my bigger issue was secretly believing that I knew how to trade better than you, better than other amateurs, and just about everyone else. And I was right just often enough to keep that belief alive. And from that belief, built my faulty psychological base on bad combination, multiple explanation marks. So he took him a while, but he got it. A couple of trades I missed, a couple I nailed, and a few more I passed on because I did not understand what was happening. And that's key right there. Remember that. If you don't know what's happening, you don't want to be taking a trade. And that is key. And I'll read that again. A couple of trades I missed, a couple I nailed, and a few more I passed on because I did not understand what was happening. So make sure you hear that. Anytime you don't understand what's going on and you're not 100% sure that you're reading the price action right, the best thing you can do is nothing. And you might miss a good trade, but guess what? It's better than getting in a bad trade and losing money. So the first blue arrow marks an arrow I wanted to go longly, but sat it out. I guess that's right there, and it's a good thing he sat it out because look what happened. And again, I talked about this in the midday chart that it looked like we were going to get support here, but it didn't hold. And I was like you. I wanted to go long there, but we never got the setup, and so I didn't. And look what ends up happening. So that's why being patient and waiting. And it looks like he did the same thing. I bet that will be marked as a second entry short on your review this afternoon. I'm betting so too, since it's right off of the main trend line, and there's been no real trend line break yet for the most part. Mine's drawn a little bit different. We'll look at that in a minute. If I felt that, so if I felt that way, I know other amateurs who could not resist the cheese jumped in long and got taken apart. Second blue arrow points to a line I'd drawn after the previous pivot high was in place. If I was still trading, I would have been waiting for the possibility of an entry. Crazy good stuff. 3 trades, 5.5 points, done by 8:30 Pacific. So that's 10:30 my time, I believe. So 5.5 points by 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Doesn't get any better than that. And I mean, this is a fairly consistent message he sends me a couple times a week now. So the guy's getting it. Very good. I'm proud for you. And I'm glad the light's going off for both of those guys. And I do like to show those from time to time because it shows you that it's not just me or 1 or 2 people. It's, there's other people that are really starting to get good at this. And yeah, you notice I do have that second entry short right there. You basically had a double top right off the trend line and second entry short. And I went back and forth actually about making that one green um, because it is so close to that support right there. But notice we got through, and then we got through again, and we just couldn't go any higher. And then it turns down. And if this would have closed on its high, that would have changed everything. But when this turned right down off that trend line and closed on its low, really the better trade was maybe to wait for the little tick up right here. In fact, that's the better entry right there because that's a breakout pullback short, and then there's a failed second entry long right there. So the better entry was right there probably than here because there is a lot of overlap. So I am going to just switch those two and make this one green because I was on the border of wanting to make that green because that's risky going short into all that support. But lately the MO has been, we've had some pretty good sell-offs. So, there was a time where this was just a sure trap almost every time. But now they broke it on through before they reversed it today. So, but let's talk about the trades. I will say this blue line here, I was looking for, if you come across, you'll see that was support and kind of the support resistant line that was in there previously from Friday. And so I was looking for us to probably try to come back and test that, but we couldn't even get down there. So, but let's talk about the trades. First trade I saw was right here. Notice that there's a new low. You're trending down for sure. And I don't have it on here, but there's kind of a short-term little channel here, and you get the break and the two legs down, and then that's when you got the correction and before we headed lower again. But notice this. You got to, if you count this as a new high, which it is, you pull back, first entry, pull back, second entry long. It traps people. It looks kind of rangy. But with that little tick up and when it turned back down, I'd have a stop right here. And boom, down it goes. And I would be looking for a measured move from, there's the open to the close. And you notice it's a perfect measured move. Perfect. And that would have been my target. Get out a tick or so in front of that, and that's where it bounces. Two legs up, and you get another second. That's a big bearish bar. It didn't quite close on its low, so I would have thought about using a limit order here. And then it moves on down fairly quickly. Then you get your bounce. It's kind of that double test. And you might have been thinking about going long right here, but I just don't think you can because, here's your first two real swings, and there's no break of that yet, and that didn't come till here. And notice you got a little channel working up. That's your first break. You move to a new high. You pull back. You make that little tick higher and get a trap, a big bearish bar. I think it's a little bit aggressive, but it did go out the top first, and so you could have had that stop there, and it would have gone straight on down to a quick, easy scalp. But I think you're better off here to wait because it's looking a little like a range day, and the range may take precedence and be more powerful than the channel. And so when it pulls back up, it makes that failed second entry long and turns down. Look how bearish. Just go short right there. Boom. Quick, easy scalp. And then you get a two-legged pullback again to the EMA, the trend line. Again, there was some overlap here. It broke higher first, but it couldn't break out the low side. So that makes it a little suspect. There's a lot of support right there. It is a second entry short, so you could have gone short right there, but I think you were better off to wait on the little, there's a tick higher right there. It may be hard to see. But notice prices go down, tick higher, and then turn down. So that's like your failed second entry long that turns into a trap, and look at it off to the races. It goes to the downside. And now you've had a break. One leg that has a couple legs in, a little couple leg correction, then another leg down, and it bounces right off what could be your low side here. I wasn't sure if this was going to be down here. First I thought it bounced early, but if you pull it up to where it catches this one, it also catches it there, and that kind of looks like the midpoint right there. So I believe that to be the better fit, and that's what I was looking at. Um, so you got to be careful now, and you do get a second entry short right here, but notice how this pulls up here. It does kind of come off the EMA, and then it bounces and it goes right on through, and so then you get an inside bar that doesn't break lower. So I think that's really suspect to go short right there. If you did go short right there, and then you see this stem come back up, and then you get another little inside bar here, I would have been exiting this thing, because that's not a good sign, especially when it bounced off that. You use those first two swings there, and when you made this little double bottom with that little trap there, you got to go long above that right there, and that was the best trade of the morning. Then you get another little two-legged pullback right back to that same trend line. Look at that reversal bar go long right there. Another easy move. Then another two-legged pullback. Second entry long right there. This one took a minute. It hesitated. I don't think I would have added on here, but if I was on here, I'd have my stop down here, and I would have just waited. And, man, this turns out to be the trade of the day behind this other one. This trade and this trade were the real trades of the day, to be honest. And then you got a new high, first entry long pullback. So this is a second entry long. It actually broke higher first right there. I didn't like entering there because we weren't really back to the midline, and so, and I wasn't sure that that this line was exactly right yet. I felt like it was, because it's a measured move, but you come off the top on a double bottom, so I like the fact that it broke higher and turned lower and then turned back up. You don't want to go short there, but you just got to be careful going long. And then when you got this more bullish bar, I liked when it broke above there, using a limit order. You really could have used a stop, it didn't matter, but I liked using a limit order right there. Maybe a tick back, or just right at the high, and then it runs on up, makes a new high, and then it keeps trying to go higher. It makes two legs up to a new high, and then sells off, and we're bouncing right off that same line again. So really good trading day. And remember, if you just took the second entries, there's a second entry short there. There's a second entry short there. Oops. There's a second entry long right there. This one's a little more convoluted, but that is a second entry long. Easy to spot second entry long. So if you just waited on the easy to spot ones, that's 1, 2, 2 to the upside, 1, 2 to the downside, really 3 counting that one there. So really 3 easy second entries. And if that's all you traded and you got 1 point each off a single contract, that's still 3 points for the day. And then if you learn to spot the failures on top of that, even better. So fairly good trading day. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back to do it tomorrow. This is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.